Thank you for the opportunity to share this morning. I'm Don Foreman. Um, and, I think it's a probably pretty reasonable reaction to have listened to Judith last week and Chris and Pamela and and hear them tell us about the wonderful way that God has called them and maybe feel a little bit intimidated thinking, well, I didn't do all that. I can't do that. My star's not nearly that bright. And um, I came to the conclusion that I am who I am. And I'd like to share something with you from Mr. Rogers, a book that Mr. Rogers wrote to kind of start off my little series of ramblings. And he says, there are many times that I wish that I had heard just who you are at this moment with the way that you're feeling is fine. You don't have to be anything more than who you are right now. I'd like to think that it's something that's happened to me through the years, that I'm more able to accept myself as I happen to be rather than as somebody that I thought I should be. Because I suspect that if you're like me, you probably, where you are in life right now isn't what you imagined when you started off in life as an adult. And so we are who we are. And who I am right now, what the hat I wear officially is that I work for Catholic Community Services as a pediatric social worker. And that means that I work with little ones. Primarily, I work with infants and the mothers of infants who come into my realm of service as mothers that have just had their babies in the hospital, and for whatever reason they've come to the attention of the state. Most often it's mothers that have been born, or mothers who with babies who were born testing positive for drugs or alcohol, or the mothers tested positive for drugs and alcohol when they were in the hospital, or there may have been other concerns that were evident, like mental health issues, or perhaps situations that spoke of domestic violence, and the state became involved, and the state then had to make the choice as to whether to or not to take that baby and put the baby into foster care, or to give the mom a little bit of encouragement to take the baby home, knowing that for a while there would be some supports in the home to help her learn to be a good parent and how to bring the baby up in a healthy way socially and emotionally. And that's where my job came in. I was considered a home-based caseworker, or I am considered a home-based caseworker, I should say. And I would go in and sit with the moms once a week and evaluate the baby for safety and that he's being well taken care of. And then the other component of my job is to work with the mom and offer parenting to help them become better parents and to become more bonded and in a position to be able to respond and see the baby's needs, because we all have a tendency to be somewhat egocentric, but especially parents that are born, or parents that have all these issues, are so consumed with what's going on in their lives right now that they see the baby as an extension of them and what the baby does for them or what the baby brings to them. And it really, we try to change that perception so that they're thinking that the baby is my life is going to be baby centric now, or child centric, and my job is to think about that baby and bring that baby up and not think about how that baby affects me or makes me look and presents me to the world. So that's what I do. And yes, it's been very, very challenging to work in a time of COVID because my agency and the state won't allow me to go into the homes like I normally do. So I've had to do things via Zoom. And it's really hard when I want to go in and give that mom a hug. I want to give her a tissue because she's going through so many things, or commiserate with her and pat her on the back and say, I know that's just really crappy that's what's happening to you. And I don't get to hold the babies, I don't think I'm going to be a grandma anytime soon. I don't think that's in the stars for me. So I get my grandma fix that way too, being able to hold those babies and pinch them and love them and stuff. So I miss that. But also because of a lot of the traumas that these parents have had, and they haven't had examples of good parenting throughout their lives, doing some of the things that I ask them to do feels kind of awkward to them and not comfortable. And especially when I ask them if they will do something like reading a book with their baby for me, or playing with them, or feeding them. And then I might perhaps take a video of it with my phone so that I could show it back to them and see, this is what you were doing and you didn't even realize, but I like it when you did this, or I like it when you did that, because you were showing me that you know how to do that. That's natural for you. But they're not comfortable doing that in front of a camera. So sometimes I would say, okay, here, you take the camera, I'll take the baby and I'll read to the baby, and I'll be goofy and I'll change my voice sometimes and do things. And knowing that they've enjoyed watching me make their baby smile and make their baby laugh, and watching me be silly. And then when that door closes and I leave and my eyes aren't on them, then they can practice doing those things. So that's something that I miss, because I'm not there to be my goofy self with them. So the pandemic has changed that a lot, but we've learned to adapt through Zoom. I find a lot of silly videos of parents doing things, in their own particular way, or maybe videos of mother animals reacting to their babies in a way that shows that it's just a natural thing. So we adapt, but doesn't mean we have to like it. So in case you hadn't picked up on it, what I really consider to be my vocation or my calling is to be an encourager. And I don't have to receive a paycheck from Catholic Community Services to do that. I don't have to, sit at a desk or wear a certain hat. An encourager is what I feel like I've been called to be. And I've found myself in that position throughout my life. And I'm thankful to God that He's given me that gift to be that way. So I can sit with parents and say, it's not really how, that you're doing this in a way that all parents have always done it. They don't have to do it in a way that everyone else has done it, or how it should be done correctly. There's more than one way to burp a baby or to make a baby laugh. But it's how, using who we are right now, who you are right now, in the station that you are in life right now, to learn to be the best baby that you can for where you are right now. And that's, I think, what we're all called to do is to be who we are right now in the best way that we can be. And I've been blessed to be able to, because I work for an organization that's a Christian organization, to share my favorite verse, which is Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know that I have plans for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And boy, if that doesn't punch a lot of people right in the gut, it does for me, but especially for people that don't know where their next meal might be coming from. That's really a hopeful verse to give them. And I'm thankful to be able to be in a position to do that. So what I do, what my vocation is to be an encourager. To gather my final thoughts, I'd like to encourage you to find hope in knowing that you are who God wants you to be right now. And encourage you to be alert to the opportunities that God gives you to be you. There's so many times when I've gotten back in my car and thought, oh shoot, I should have done that, or I didn't pick up that thing that lady dropped at the grocery store, and I could have done that and used that as a moment to talk to her. So we need to be aware of opportunities when God puts them in front of us, and just put that opportunity on and wear it with pride, being who you are. And don't discount what you bring to the table. I look at these faces that I see in front of me, and I think of so many people that in our church that have helped me just by being who they are, like Cindy, like Kathy Munn, like Joyce, people that sit in the background kind of quietly, like Rosemary and Chris. You've all helped me. Robert Brown, Melissa, or Michelle and Randy. I don't talk to you very much, but you help me and you encourage me by being the kind of people that you are. And you'll never know, who you touch like that. So I appreciate you listening to me. And I'd like to close with another thing from Mr. Rogers. that I think puts it all into perspective. And that is, if we're really honest with ourselves, there are probably times when we think, what possible use can I be in this world? What need is there for somebody like me to fill? That's one of the deeper mysteries. Then God's grace comes to us in the form of another person who tells us that we have been of help. And what a blessing that is.